Okay, this video coming up is one that you would call a long shot. If this ends up on YouTube, wow. And I will have pulled something off. Here is the camera clamped onto the canoe. I'm going to bring it to an area over here that I think is a little bit better to leave it for the bit of time I'm going to be away. I am trying to keep my feet dry because I put my shoes back on. There'll be some rocks to go over. Let's see if I can actually do this. It's not realistic. You know what? I'm going to change my mind and I'm just going to pull it over in this direction. Bring it up on land a bit out of the way. Just a bit out of the way. This is a pretty populated boat landing area. And I am going to take the gamble that someone doesn't come up and steal the canoe. I won't be gone that long. And yeah, they don't know me from not here. So we get the bike out. It's not easy to transport a canoe in any case. So I think I'm okay. Let me point the camera better for the bike. And I have the Note 8 doing the video. Let's make sure it's still videoing. Do I see the numbers moving? No, I don't. Yeah, I do. That's great. All right, so I'm using the Note 8 because the camera is going to be exposed to a little bit of danger on this bike ride, right? I'll be clipping the camera onto the bike and maybe showing you my face. Bike's already folded. You just do that in a few moments. There's a couple extra clips in here that keep the primary clips from undoing. There's that one there. There's this one here. Fold the pedals out. That's pretty much it. You make sure that the key is in the position it needs to be in for the power to come onto the bike. You press the power button on the bike. I got all the bars. And now let's pick a position on the bike so that it doesn't interfere with my riding. Right here on the handlebar. Big handlebar, maybe facing up at me. So many ways to do this. Question is, what kind of experience do I want for you? And I probably should show you even what I'm doing here with the phone. Crisscross applesauce. Let me point this at myself and see if I can get the video feedback again, showing the hairbands, the traditional X hairbands going across it, and then a third hairband going across long ways. And you know, last time I did this, I got up to like 30 miles an hour on this thing. I don't think I'll be doing that again, but I will go at a nice chipper pace, but not over these rocks to get started. Again, I'm at the Bushkill boat launch, the really popular one in the area. People who boat here all the time pay like $40 to have the right to have their campers parked or their trailers parked in between. For normal kayakers and canoers, it's not a thing. But some of the bigger, because this is a motorboat launch as well, so you got a lot of the big motorboat traffic coming through. I'm back on the concrete, and it'll be pretty much concrete all the way. So I just hop on the bike and head out. It's a big enough landing there that my canoe being there isn't going to be a problem. Oh, bike helmet. Woo-wee! Forgot the bike helmet. I forgot the bike helmet. Ah, checklisting, checklisting, checklisting. The best laid plans of mice and men. Well, I certainly won't be going 30. Last time I forgot my life jacket and remembered the helmet. This time I remembered the life jacket and forgot the helmet. So let me pick this thing up to its full power. I'm on 5. And I'm already at 20 miles an hour. I'm just going to hold the throttle down on 5. Make sure I have my car keys. I do have my car keys. That's an important thing. After all my talk about the helmet, right? Best laid plans. I'm honestly not even pedaling. Yeah, I'm going 27 miles an hour. It's like a little motorcycle for sure. This is my life. I love this stuff. Mike takes risks. Very little stops me. But it's the little things. It's canoeing. Being able to get back to your car after canoeing. I don't base jump. I don't skydive, but I fake skydive. I will seek out I fly and pretend I fly. I haven't been to Burning Man. I might go to Burning Man, except I think it's over. I don't like the whole pretense again. Once enough people are interested in something, it loses its charm. This is why I don't do web dev. Web dev is over. That's why I don't ski. Skiing is over. Web dev and skiing are over. I might take up snowboarding again, or I might take up snowboarding. But the mountains are just as pretentious as skiing. So it has that going against it. Pretentious. Am I pretentious? I'm pretentious because projection. Of course I'm pretentious. I only take part in things so long as they're not popular. And they're secret weapons. They're secret weapons because they're not yet popular. Python's becoming popular. What's one to do? Sometimes I do talking head videos. Sometimes they're live talking head videos. Sometimes they're recorded. Sometimes I do driving videos, talking while I'm driving. Now there's bike riding videos. Riding my bike. My electric bike. People are wondering about this thing. Yeah, I'm now going 24 miles an hour. I've had the throttle, the thumb throttle, held down all the way for the whole trip. I'm barely pedaling at all. McDade Trail. That's a trail that runs across or runs along the Delaware River at this point, on and off. Some walkable bits, some not so much. My camera reads 10 minutes, but that includes starting shooting the video on the canoe. So this is not a 10-minute ride yet, more like 5. I'm passing Egypt Mills Road. Let my people go. Let my person go. Honestly, I can't even pedal fast enough to engage the gears. When it's set to 5 and you have the throttle on full, no biggie. This is what life is about. If this kind of stuff is accessible to you and you like doing it, do it. Not even that fancy anymore. Electric bikes are common. You don't need to drag a whole car with you everywhere. You don't need to buy a Tesla to do electric. I don't think the canoe that couple was in was really wooden. It was a plastic one, just like mine, made to look like wood. Up close you could see it was just a canoe, just exactly the same construction as mine. Oh, the fish? The fish were shad fish. That fisherman guy told me. I was talking to him after, between takes. Here I am at Eschbach. 14 minutes, 22 seconds. Put power assist at 2. Came down from 5. So I was a Power Assist 2, and I think my average speed was probably about 24 miles an hour. It's fun. It's fun. Man, I gotta ride my bike more. Checklist, checklist, checklist. Always be checklisting in your head. It's easy to forget stuff. We all take risks in different ways at different times in our life. This is one of mine, and it's okay. Here we are back at Big Red. Put the kickstand down. Unlock that pup. Open it out. Upward the hatch. See, I see my Schwinn helmet in there. I didn't forget to bring it. I just forgot to bring it in the boat. Yeah, doy. Smacked myself in the head. Okay, so we're gonna put that back in the car. Let's see, to make this the finished item, the completed video. I guess we do it like this. That'll do. Latch up. Latch out. Latch down. Latch out. Pedals folded. Kickstand up. Bike folded. Complete the video. Still shooting, amazing. There we go. I gotta remember that configuration, that helps. Wait. Hey. Alright, back on the dash. Minutes to here, not including the 5 minutes to get started, so let's say 15 minutes to here. No, yeah, 15 minutes to here. park rangers behind me. It's fun doing stuff like this where you feel like maybe you're getting away with something, but you're not. This is just enjoying the park recreational system, the state park recreational system, like you're supposed to. There's nothing to see here. Please disperse. Now, I'm just keeping this on my dashboard as opposed to mounting it in my already existing camera mount there because of the hair bands and the risk of stopping the video. So it takes me a moment to get the positioning correct. There's someone pulling out, so I really gotta move. All right, that'll do it. Sorry about that, folks. Is it still recording? Jeeps. I mean, I don't attribute the Jeep to it still recording, but the bounciness of the car. The parking areas were completely full, so the park ranger might have been there to see, you know, the activity. It does get busy. I mean, it's not a state park, but it is, I mean, it's not a national park. It doesn't have the craziness of a national park, the crowds and everything, but on a day like today, here we are again after all. I put it on the proper camera mount in my car because, as fate would have it, that thing was bouncing around the way it was, and it stopped shooting the video, so we break it. That was the bike ride, right? We break it into 3 sections. That's okay. I'm in the car. I started it as quick as possible to get an accurate timing of how long it all takes. And already going at 50 miles an hour, already a bit above the speed limit, I've got cars coming up behind me like, why are you going so slow? But the state rangers are out everywhere, so they're in the wrong. Not because the rangers are out, but you get the point. Who knows if this will even be one I keep. Who knows if the bike one will even be one I keep, for that matter. Life casting? Yeah, it's life casting. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Why deny the audience the richness of this tapestry? I will certainly remember the helmet on the next ride. And people will, you know, find fault. People will always find fault. One of the things that people do better than anything else is to find fault. So, when you want to fix that, what you do is you embrace fault. You go, yes, yes indeed. I am in fact only human. Surprise! But you know what? As a human, I do the best I can. And I am on the record doing it. I am happy to talk. I'm happy to show you all my foibles and flaws. And if you think that makes me unfit in some way for something, that is more saying something about you than about me. I am very fit. I am so profoundly fit that I am almost fit in an unstoppable fashion. You know what keeps me fit? Love of life, kindness, diversity of activities, physical fitness, mental stimulation, liking what I do, being good at what I do, getting paid for what I do, and trying my best, trying my darndest align it with what the world needs. Maybe the world needs a few more people giving a little cross-section taste of their life. The ups and the downs, the good with the bad. Take your knocks and show them how you take it. Bushkill access left in 1/2 mile. Yeah, driving back is like 5 minutes. Which only makes sense if it took 15 minutes to go that way and you were going about half the speed limit. And this way you're going a little over the speed limit. And it takes about half the time to get back. And here is the entrance to Bushkill. Some motorcycles coming out, so be very, very clear with your actions and intentions. You don't want them pulling out in front of you. Oh, I think I did that wrong. I think I should have come around the other way. No one behind me. I did it wrong last time I did this too, but you know, there's no reason to actually drive through all these cars except for the fact that it puts you on the correct side, pointed the correct way when you're picking up the canoe. If I'll edit this with the previous video or do it as 2 installments. Probably 2 installments. Life is too short to edit video. Some people are casting off from here. There's actually a club casting off from here. They've got a big truck full of things. I might end up going in front of them. I don't want to be rude. I see them jumping off the truck and going around. I'm not sure if they're picking off some more vehicles. It'll be interesting to see maybe in the rear view. They're likely to be a while, so I'll just do it here because there's a trail coming up. And I will get pretty close behind them. And I will be using the, make sure I'm not too close. Hey, this won't be too close behind you, will it? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, they're pulling out, so I'll just give it a few minutes. Here's the type of thing that, you know, the groups do. I guess I'll get this ready again for the loading. I use this time. Try not to stop it from recording. Have a continuous take to reloading the canoe. Symmetry, my friend, symmetry. Symmetry is one of the beautiful things about life. Life and death. The eternal perfect symmetry. Not a lot of stuff is objective in life. Still recording, still recording. And I certainly do not need to do the crisscross operation here to keep this working well. I see them getting in the car. I'm going to go look for a good place to mount the camera to document the carrying up of the canoe. Probably the sign right here. Yeah. I'll start to bring it up. Drag it a little. There it is, just the way I left it, of course. The sign will be good. Find a place to clip it onto the sign. That'll do. And I'll just be pulling up where these folks are and pull right into that view there. Quite right into the view. I realize that if I'm going to use those white things, I'm going to have to pull up a little bit, get the car in frame. Happy with the position. Turn the car off. Now this will be a pretty big test here because these things I think I've been putting on from the other side. I'm not 100% sure, but that fits like it had eyes. And the other one, very nice, very nice. Not as nice as I'd like. That'll take some more work. But we test. Maybe we try different sides. Yeah, this is just a much better opening than that one. But this one does fit this side better. Get our straps out. You'll recall I was very deliberate about where I put the straps. Oops. I should have probably got them from the other side and not knocked that off. But it does give a little preview, right? This is the Roomba. You can see there's a little bit of a weakness here in that might slip off as the canoe goes up. So do whatever extra little precautions you can. Drag the canoe close. Clear of the sign. You can see the canoe a little bit here. Take the stuff out of it. Now remember, the whole purpose here is to not break one's back. You're eliminating the risk to the back so that one can have many, many years of such adventure. Paddle can be unassembled. Fits in the car better that way. And now we flip the canoe to be such that it'll be upside down when it goes up the rails. You center it. Remember the centering? Always center. Always be centering. Look for weaknesses. Be checklisting in your brain. Double check your equipment. After you double check your equipment, you triple check your equipment. There are weaknesses. This is not good. My work with the heat gun earlier today was not good enough. Accommodate for it, because that is not and cannot be a showstopper. Should have come around the other direction with the car, without a doubt. So, you know, let this be a lesson to myself. Even though I had the car in the correct direction for the road, because those plastic things are a little bit too much keyed for the other side, it is never too late to correct oneself. It'll be so much easier and better off than having the car pointed the other way. So these things do take steps of refinement. It's not like they're going to be perfect out of the gate. Although that guy who did the DIY video, he had it perfect out of the gate. I didn't get it perfect out of the gate. It took a few tries. I got the wrong size PVC piping. In fact, on his, what he said, because he said 1.5 inches. So that was my first mistake. My second mistake was, well, it's still this. It's still getting the heating trick right. It's getting the nuance down of the PVC piping. Yeah, see, that fits in a less likely to slip off way, of course. It's because these things are pointed at this one side. Subtlety and nuance count. Okay, so it narrows down like an airplane wing, like an aerofoil. And these have been shaped around that aerofoil. So the widening, the shape perfecting that I've been doing on them has been on the same side of the car every time. So it's preserving that aerofoil shape. So the next time I do this with a heat gun, I need to expand the holes on the other side of the car, obviously. So let's do this. Again, the point is to not break one's back and to not rush into things just because of a few small mistakes early on. Now, centering is a little tough because of the sign. What am I going to do? Am I going to move the car again, or am I going to make it work in this position? I'm going to make it work in this position. I move the car enough. Now, you know what? A few feet make all the difference. Be consistent with your word. So it's going to be a good video, right? Back off, retry. It's the Roomba thing. This is what I'm talking about. And it's just a matter of that many feet. And I did it mostly because of wanting to keep the car properly in frame. But, you know, the question is, what's worth saving your back? Everything is worth saving your back. Every measure you think to take to save your back is worth it.
It was actually I was waiting for that chemical thing, but it didn't happen. Yeah, don't. We're ignoring that. We're just pretending it's not going to be. It's cold, right?
Chad. I get to show off my knowledge now. I know the fish that are out are the chad. Still not nearly as good of a fit as I would like, but it's better than it was. Now you can see at least this part of the canoe maneuver. I'll center it. Now we give it a shot here. Hopefully those don't unattach. Perfect. That's pretty much everything but strapping it in. I guess I'll show you the strapping it in too. Why not, right? Is that a far enough away view to get any value out of it? I think so. Sure. I'll get the idea across. Strapping down a canoe, how long does it take? Get this first strap.
Here, come help me carry it. Help me? Heavy. You go first? You need to go first. Right. You got it? Heavy. Good? You got it?
First strap over. Underneath. Goes through the latch. Like access. The other straps.
Nicole, I'm going to give you the
straps. Make sure it goes under.
Will you do my back? Don't lose a flap.
Tighten it. Feel buckle got caught on that side there. So you don't know. Hope I freed it in the right direction. I think so. Nope. If I didn't have the two strapped together like that, I wouldn't have had that extra little moment. Tighten that up. Excess. Two bungee cords on the hood. The handle. Bungee cord on the back. There we have it. Canoe secured. Canoe secured. Secured canoe. Hopefully that didn't drift down too much during that. I will try and do the continuous take again. I'll clip this somewhere better. Oh, yeah, instead of the dashboard, the glove compartment handle. Different angle than I usually give. But what time is it? Ladies and gentlemen, it is noon, 12:30. And I still have a full day available for packing. Text back. Hitting back. And don't start the YouTube uploads until I'm home and have the better bandwidth. Better, but not all that great bandwidth. Whew, air conditioning. Sorry in advance for that audio. Check, double check, checklist, checklist, checklist. I got all my equipment. I got the canoe, got the life vest, I got the oar, got the helmets, got my phones. All is good. I can pull out. Bikers around, so beware. Someone coming the opposite direction. They have more legitimate claim to the side than I do, so I make room for them. I'll do my reversing of directions, but there are bikers coming through, so I will give them the right of way. This is the problem with being the wrong direction on the road. And when I do my three-point turn to correct myself, I have the extra distance of the canoe to watch for. But as I have pointed out, we are all humans. Humans are imperfect creatures. We make little mistakes and we correct ourselves. And we do not pretend like we are not making mistakes. There are those who pretend like they're perfect. Those who pretend like they're perfect have the most reason to pretend like they're perfect. They need the pretend. They need the pretense. Because they have not practiced accepting the fact that they are not perfect. They have never laid themselves bare for another and said, this is who I am. This is me, for better or for worse. I accept that. I maybe intend to work on those parts of myself that I am unhappy with, and I think I could do better. But I do not present myself as something I am not. I am not putting on a face to the world of something very different than who I am underneath. Just a hair's breadth underneath. I'm not using a charade so shallow that even just a little bit of human interaction and discourse throws you into panic. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't want to live on the edge of panic attack, on the edge of the fight or flight or freeze response, then do not pretend to be something different than who and what you are. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others. If the role you have in life is not suitable for the real you, so say you have a terrible fear of fire, is that the person you want saving your children as a fire person? Maybe a healthy fear of fire helps a fire person be a better fire person. But also maybe it means that person will freeze up at just the wrong time. And lives will be at stake. And nobody knew that those lives would be at stake. So that person's desire to overcome their fears and to live up to their fears and to go into the one job where that fear could in fact be fatal is a selfish act. That person can cast themselves free of their fear of fire in other such professions that would bring them close face to face with fire without jeopardizing the lives of innocents. Say they could be a fire swallower or baton twirler. Same thing, right? The fire baton twirler and the fire eaters. I've seen them many times at the Polynesian Hotel and Resort, the fancy Disney World resort. Never stayed at it, but every time I've been to Disney World, I've tried to make sure I've gotten to the Polynesian and taken in the fire dancing show. I've made sure that my kid had seen the fire dancing show. I still have the plastic cups from the drinks from the fire dancing show. And perhaps that kind of field, that kind of profession, that kind of non-life endangering activity would be better for someone who is trying to overcome their fear of fire. So I'm pretty preachy, right? I'm talking about not being pretentious, and then I have the voice of pretense. I trigger a lot of people, let me tell you. I trigger people. I know that I trigger people. I trigger people who are putting on a pretense. They hate it. They hate it. Oh my God. So you know what's more triggering than anything in tech? Using Vim. People who want to put themselves forward as a heavyweight in tech. People whose perception of them requires them being better at everything than everyone else around them, who have not internalized the skills of Vim, are very nervous around Vim users indeed. VI counts, VI, Vim, NeoVim, doesn't matter. Well, what about Emacs? Well, you can't just sit down at any old Emacs and work your wizardry. You can't walk up to any PC, Mac, or Linux box, or Unix box for that matter, with a graphical desktop user interface or not, and then just seemingly take control of the computer with Emacs.
because Emacs is so customized to each user. The customization begins at the moment you sit down and never ends until you die. Emacs is all about macro behavior, macro activity, compositing up behavior, building things up in layers. And in doing so, customizing it to only your use for only you on that instance of Emacs. Now, you could get that Emacs configuration over to other machines, but you don't need your vimrc configuration on other machines to look like a wizard at any VI or Vim type text editor you sit down at. You're going to look like a wizard out of the gate. Customization of Vim is nothing on the order of the customization of Emacs. So, when you're in mixed technological savviness company, an Emacs user might be confident in their superior wizardry and voodoo. Voodoo, that's probably racist now. Let's just say wizardry. Spellcasting ability. However, a Vim user is going to be able to flex their muscle. And posers, those who fake it in tech, of which there are a lot, because it takes very little knowledge to fake it in tech. Let me tell you, just learn a few little tricks and you can convince a non-technical person you're very, very technical indeed. Now, start, doing more broad general stuff. Say, what about this? What about that? What about different case scenarios? Start running case scenarios. What if you're in this situation? What if you're in that situation? And for each of those situations, see how capable the Vim user is and see how capable the poser is. How much control you can take of a system, how much control you can take of varying types of systems, how much you know about the internals. Not that you need to know deep internals, but honestly enough to know, where your home directory is and where the system files are on most Unix and Linux type systems. Plus Vim, you can start inspecting the system services. If you can promote yourself to super user, you can edit those system services. You have no idea how intimidating that is to tech posers. Right? The real thing, being the real thing, using Vim is being the real thing. Using VS Code is being a Microsoft sheet. You'll be powerful for a little while. There's some power in that. I don't deny that. Power tools are great. Don't rely on power tools. Don't make them your sole and exclusive dependency. Oh, well, if I lose VS Code, I can always fall back to Sublime or Atom or Notepad. Really? You want that to be your fallback? Fall back from one, faddish thing to another? Of those, the only thing that's not faddish is Notepad. Do your coding in Notepad. That's the default program that comes with Windows now. Thankfully, they upgraded it enough so that you can change your font size in Notepad. I think even in a slick way with the Control plus and minus, or maybe the scroll wheel, I forget, but probably both. But that was the only upgrade to Notepad in, 30 years. Change your font size, yeah. I think they made Control S for saving work properly the first time. I think you had to save as the first time, something like that. Notepad is weird. It's always there, though. Good fallback. They're always there. You know what a better fallback is? Vim. Oh, you know what a fallback to Vim is? VI. I've been demonstrating my version of Linux, my respin of Linux. Linux called Levinux, L-E-V-I-N-U-X, Levinux, Levin User Experience, to my YouTube live audience. And it got to the point where I was demonstrating that it really was running a web server. And to demonstrate it really was running a web server, I logged in through the SSH server that it really was running. I logged in through Dropbear to get to HTTPD. Those are lightweight SSH servers and web servers accordingly. And once I logged in with Dropbear and had terminal access to an instance of Linux, I was like, okay, now let me edit a file. And I tried typing vim space the file name, and it didn't work. I was like, oh yeah, this is a 60 megabyte instance of Linux. It's using BusyBox, which is just like 1 megabyte for all the commands and everything. And so that doesn't have Vim pre-installed on it, of course, but it does have VI, right? Even a 1 megabyte, it might even be 500K, I have to double check, but even the bare bones minimal, barely give you anything version of like an embeddable Linux, and they still give you VI, and you still have the ability to edit a file. So I used VI, and I VI'd the file, and Dropbeared into the machine, used VI to edit the file, edited a .html file that was sitting there, an index.html. Went back outside of Linux to where there was a web browser on the host machine, because Linux was running in a virtual machine. So we went to a web server on the host machine that was loading it off of localhost. Localhost : I think I use 8080 as the port. And you did a refresh and you could see the edit that I just made, was there. So in a pinch, if you know Vim, you also know VI. And if you know VI, you know the text editor that's part of the Unix standard, which is everywhere, which is everything, which is part of what makes you such a wizard. So I went on this whole tangent on this, from packing up the canoe. Is this what people who want to see packing a canoe want to hear about? Maybe, I don't know. But it's barely even noon. Well, no, it is. It's barely even 1. It's coming up on 1 o'clock. I have a lot of packing to do for the upcoming move. This weekend is one of my only times now, since I'm deciding to not take work off for packing. I still might, but it doesn't look like I'm going to need to take work off for packing. So I'm going to try and get as much packing as I can in today. So that means you might have still a whole bunch of videos. Even after this whole canoe adventure, you still might have a whole bunch of videos of me making runs back and forth to the storage facility. Lucky you. Maybe I'll try and make a bonus feature of pulling some comics out of my comic book collection and sharing something different and interesting, just to spice it up, so I'm not talking about exactly the same things every time. Oh, exactly the same things plus different comic book titles. That would be it. Symmetry. Superpowers. Superpowered symmetry. Super symmetry. Super string people. A little bit grumbly these days. Sorry, folks. Quantum loop gravity people. Oh, they're just waiting for the echoes and the reverberations that prove their theories. Testable? Yeah. Super string theory testable? Super symmetry string, super whatever? Testable? No, sorry. Yeah, well, I mean, we might prove that infinite versions of it are right, which still might just be a subset of quantum loop gravity, which they'll be able to prove by hearing some other version of background radiation, of echoes of early wormhole or Big Bang. I don't know. It's over my pay grade. Wish I was one of those scientists, though, but maybe not. Maybe I wouldn't be canoeing on the weekend. Maybe I'd be hunched over looking at something, and I'll be hunched over looking at something anyway, so maybe I can work my way back to being a scientist. Wouldn't that be something? Oh my God. Howard, my friend from elementary elementary school growing up used to nickname me Cy. He was pretty sure I'd be a scientist, and then he was like, no, it's a compliment. It's Cy Young, so it's not a compliment if it's a scientist. It has to be a baseball player to be a compliment. I got mixed messages from peers and from adults. You know, child of the 70s and 80s was weird time. Running on empty. I am certainly not running on empty. I still have a quarter tank. Didn't even have to fill my gas. I'm not doing my typical 400 miles of driving this weekend. That's okay, I guess. You look at the bright sides. White. Let me see. No, I'm not even going to reach for it again. Mr. Hal Jordan. The White Lantern draws his power and energy from love. Love-worthy things. Love for life. Infinitely renewable energy source. And keep yourself hydrated. Thanks for joining me. Hope to canoe with you again sometime in the future. And don't forget to subscribe.